There are hairstyles that make you look older without you even realizing it. Not because you chose wrong, not because you aren't taking care of yourself, but simply because time has changed. Your face isn't the same as it used to be, your features are no longer as sharp as they were in your 40s, and your hair no longer holds the thickness or shine it once had. Yet, the strange thing is many women still keep the same old hairstyle. Not because they love it, but because they think it's safe. A way to hold on to a piece of themselves. And then, day by day, they look in the mirror and feel like they're slowly fading. Their hair no longer lifts them up, it's weighing them down. I've seen this thousands of times over my 30-plus years in the industry. Women sit in my chair, carrying both hope and doubt. They don't need something miraculous, they just need a small change to feel like themselves again. And that's why I made this video. Not to tell you to follow trends, but to show you 5 hairstyles that many women over 60 are still wearing but which are unintentionally dimming their true beauty. And more importantly, I'll show you better alternatives, softer, more refined, and true to the person you're becoming. Let's get started. The first style seemingly modern, but it makes you lose the most precious thing, your feminine softness. Number 5. The ultra-short pixie. When convenience overshadows femininity. Perhaps, like me, you've admired the sharpness and strength of a pixie cut. It's a style that once represented modernity, a bold, I don't need to please anyone spirit that so many of us women have craved at some point. It's neat, cool, convenient, and at certain moments in life, it truly was the right choice. But there's something few people tell you. When a pixie becomes too short, clinging tightly to the scalp, it starts to betray the very things you expected from it. Not because you've aged, but because that extreme shortness strips away the soft, flowing lines that cradle your face. It exposes everything time has left behind, from faint wrinkles on your forehead to subtle changes at your temples and jawline. And more than that, it takes away something simple yet profound, the feeling of running your fingers through your hair. That's not just a familiar motion, it's an intimate part of femininity. When you can no longer sweep your hair to one side to hide a tiring day or create a gentle drape to soften your gaze, that hairstyle stops being youth, becomes mere convenience. And we women, at this age, don't live just for convenience. We live to be ourselves, fully and completely. But that doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to the pixie. I would never tell you to abandon something you once loved, just let it grow with you. Look at Helen Mirren, she's never given up her pixie, but she's chosen a different version, slightly longer, with a soft volume around the temples, side-swept bangs, sometimes with loose strands falling lazily, yet gracefully across her forehead. And especially the hair around her ears, she doesn't let it be clipped too close, keeping a touch of softness like a delicate veil over the marks of time. That's a pixie, but a pixie that has learned to listen to the real contours of your face. And that's what I hope you take away today. You don't need to let go of the hairstyle that once made you feel strong. Just let it soften, ease up, and align with the rhythm flowing through you now. A longer pixie with movement and breathing room is also the space you need to reconnect with yourself. And if you're thinking, maybe I do need a change, let me tell you about the 4th style. A hairstyle that many still believe is youthful, but in reality, makes you feel like you're wearing a helmet every day without even realizing it. Number 4. The bowl cut, rounded bob. When volume in the wrong place makes your face look stiff and artificial. Do you remember the bowl cut? That rounded bob, shaped as if molded by a perfect bowl, hugging the head tightly to create an almost flawless silhouette. There was a time when it was seen as a symbol of youthfulness, instantly lifting the face, especially for those seeking a tightening effect. It brought a sense of cleanliness, clarity, and decisiveness, like a statement. But that was then. At this stage of life, what we need isn't excessive decisiveness. What we need is softness, movement, and naturalness. And unfortunately, the rounded bob does the exact opposite. The biggest issue with this style is that it concentrates volume in places that are no longer flattering. The crown, the cheekbones, and sometimes right around the neck. When the hair puffs up like a dome, it not only makes your head appear larger but also disrupts the entire balance of your face. The cheeks look wider, the neck gets hidden, and instead of making your face appear sharper, it feels like everything is being swallowed by a hair helmet. Worse still, it turns you into a repetitive version of yourself every day. You look in the mirror and see the same face as yesterday, with no movement, no emotion. I've met so many women who've kept this style for years because they believed it was ageless and safe. But that very safety is what's robbing them of their natural beauty. A good hairstyle shouldn't impose itself on your face, it should move with you, letting your face breathe. So, what's the alternative? I want you to imagine a softer bob with gentle layers, cut to graze the chin or collarbone. A hairstyle that sways lightly with your steps as you walk. A hairdo that doesn't try to stand still, but lives with you. The feathered bob with thin, layered strands that create movement around the face is exactly that kind of style. It keeps the short, neat shape but sheds the rigidity. It lets you adapt, depending on your mood or the weather. It highlights the neck and shoulders areas that still hold so much beauty waiting to be showcased properly. Women like Angelica Maria or Anna Martinet used to wear fixed, uniform bobs, but over time, they chose softness. Their hair is no longer cut ruler straight but falls gently, soft like the personality of someone who's weathered many changes. And because of that, their beauty has become more vibrant than ever. You don't need your hair to puff up to be noticed. You just need a hairstyle that moves with the way you live. Gentle. Flexible. Not cookie cutter. And if you're thinking, I need a hairstyle that's easier to manage every morning, be cautious with the next style. Because, while it's lively and spirited, that very messiness might leave you looking more tired than ever after every wash. Number 3. The overlayered chop. When energy turns into chaos. I know this style is tempting, especially when you're trying to bring life back to thinning hair that's gradually losing its volume after 50. A stylist might tell you, we'll just add some short layers on top, a few around the sides, and it'll make your hair look thicker, younger. And you nod, thinking that more movement is what you need. But then, one morning, after blow-drying your hair at home, you stand in front of the mirror and can't understand why it looks so messy. No clear shape, no hold, and it feels like every section of hair is going its own way. That's the downside of too many, too short layers, especially at the crown. When the layers aren't harmoniously aligned, instead of creating gentle volume, they strip the hair of its overall structure. The hair no longer falls in a single, cohesive motion, but becomes a maze of mismatched length, creating a chaotic, unsettled look. This is even more evident with fine, curly, or afro-textured hair, where the natural texture already needs gentle handling. When layers are too short and choppy, curly hair dries out more, frizzes up, and, most importantly, loses definition. No more framing, no more bounce, just a sense that the hair is fighting against you. I've seen so many clients come to the salon in frustration. My hair won't hold a style anymore. I think my hair is ruined. But no, the fault isn't with you. The fault lies in a cut designed for someone else, applied to you without understanding how your hair moves, breathes, and reacts to each snip. So, if you love vibrancy but don't want to trade it for chaos, here's the solution. Long blended layers that start subtly at the chin or shoulders, blending seamlessly into the overall length. No harsh jumps, no jarring breaks, just enough movement to create volume while keeping a neat shape. This kind of layering not only makes it easy to style at home, but also makes your hair feel light, in the truest sense light in feel, and light in maintenance effort. And if you have curly hair? Wonderful! Embrace those curls by letting long layers follow the natural shape of your hair. Don't try to force it into someone else's style. A curly hairstyle cut correctly is never messy, it's a dance. A rhythmic interplay between natural texture and intentional design. The right layers don't make you look more. They make you look enough. Enough softness. Enough movement. Enough like yourself. Because true vibrancy doesn't come from messiness. It comes from controlling your own movement, knowing what's just right and what to let go of. And if you think only complex hairstyles cause trouble, think again. Because the next style is about a small, tiny detail right on your forehead that can make your entire face look tired, even if you haven't changed anything else. Number 2. Baby bangs. When boldness exposes what you once wanted to hide. I used to think short bangs made me look younger until one morning, standing in front of the mirror, the unforgiving morning light revealed every line, every mark of time I hadn't noticed before. There was no shield. No soft layer of hair to temper that overly honest reflection. Just a wide, bare forehead and bangs so short they looked like a sharp stroke on an unfinished sketch. Baby bangs, ultra short bangs cut a few centimeters above the eyebrows, have been called daring, modern, even high fashion. And it's true, on runways with strong lighting and heavy makeup, they can look striking. But in real life, under natural light, with a bare face and a sometimes hectic routine, baby bangs become an overwhelming challenge for many women over 60. They don't just highlight features you no longer want to emphasize like forehead wrinkles, brown spots, or slightly sagging skin. They're also a hairstyle that demands near daily maintenance. One night of sleeping on your side, and the next morning your bangs are askew, a hint of humidity, and they curl up defiantly. And if your hair is slightly wavy, naturally dry, or prone to frizz, then every morning in front of the mirror becomes a negotiation or, worse, a battle. And I don't believe women at this age should have to fight their hair every morning. We've been through enough mornings already. It's time for something gentler, softer, and truly a hairstyle that lifts your face rather than exposing it. If you love the feel of bangs, if you feel softer with a little hair falling across your forehead, you can absolutely have that, just in a different way. Curtain bangs. A longer style, parted slightly in the middle or swept to the side, designed to drape softly around the face. Curtain bangs not only naturally cover the forehead but also gently frame the cheekbones, highlighting your eyes without making your face feel heavy. Best of all, they don't demand you spend ages in front of the mirror. They can be lightly styled, air-dried, and still maintain their charm. Look at Jane Fonda or Diane Keaton, both icons of preserving individuality without sacrificing elegance. They don't try to youthify their faces with quirky bangs. They choose hairstyles that honor the lines of time, letting just enough light through without being harsh. You don't need to hide, you just need to reveal yourself in the right measure, letting the light fall where it flatters. A good hairstyle isn't one that conceals you. It's one that gives you the space to step out confidently as yourself. No more, no less. And if you think a small detail like bangs can't transform your entire look, let the final hairstyle prove otherwise. The most common style, the one that seems the most harmless, might just be the one quietly pulling you down every day. Number 1, the heavy blunt cut. When a straightforward hairstyle blocks your inner light. This is the hairstyle that makes you look neat, but also makes you disappear. Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? Because it looks polished, simple, easy to maintain. A straight cut from top to bottom, no layers, no tears, no fuss. Some have called it the hairstyle, with no margin for error. But that very lack of error is what hides everything that makes you vibrant. The blunt kuta straight, thick, heavy-ended style isn't inherently wrong. But after 60, your body changes, and your hair isn't what it used to be. When you keep a hairstyle with no layers, no movement, it falls like a wall, no breathing room, no light. At this point, your hair no longer reflects the softness within you. It becomes a heavy block that pulls every gaze downward. It elongates the face, emphasizes the neck and chin, and exposes the features you might want to soften. It's like wearing a thick coat in the middle of summer, warm, but no longer fitting. I've seen so many women hold on to this style for decades. Because it's familiar. Because they were once told, this style suits you so well. Because during the busy years of raising kids, working, caring for others, they needed a hairstyle that didn't demand much. And it served them well, for a certain phase of life. But time moves on, and that very hairstyle, once a solid foundation, becomes something that holds them back, tethering them to a version of themselves they no longer are. If you're here, if you're still keeping that heavy blunt cut, because you haven't found something else. This is an invitation. Not to chop everything off, but to try adding a little breathing space, a touch of light layers at the ends, a bit of texture around the shoulders. You don't need to change everything, just enough to let your hair breathe again. Enough so that when you walk, it doesn't hang like a heavy curtain but sways gently with your movements. What I love most about delicate layers is that they let light pass through. They frame, not block. They allow your hair to embrace your face, not weigh it down. And they remind you, you don't need to change to look younger, you just need to change to be more you, as the person you're becoming. Because what you're truly seeking isn't a reconstructed version of youth. It's a version that's authentic, refined, present. And sometimes, that starts with a small shift. The fall of a single strand, a light layer at the ends, an unexpected movement that makes you feel seen after a long time of hiding behind neatness. And if today is the day you're ready to look at yourself again, not through the lens of the past, not because of compliments from a decade ago, I want to tell you, you're not late. Your hair is still there, waiting for a small touch to transform. Sometimes, something as simple as changing how your hair falls can make you see yourself again more clearly, more gently, and more fully than ever before. You see, your hair shouldn't be a mask you have to wear every day. It doesn't need to fight against age, nor does it need to try to keep you tied to an outdated image. Your hair, if chosen right, should be the gentlest reflection of who you are today, seasoned, soft, and free. If you realize you're wearing one of the hairstyles we just discussed, please don't feel guilty. You haven't done anything wrong. You're simply standing at the threshold of a new version of yourself, a woman who no longer needs to hide behind safety, but is ready to step forward, radiant, in her own beauty. And when that hair starts to move with you, when it gently embraces you, instead of rigidly encasing you, you'll realize you never lost your radiance. It's just that now, you're ready for it to be seen. If you've watched this far, leave a comment saying, "I love my hair," so I know you're starting a new chapter, freer, more beautiful, and without needing anyone's permission.